House of Dragon fans? Let's get into it. Now, if you've never watched House of Dragons or Game of Thrones, what do we say to those who are trying to watch this review?
Not today.
Exactly. Let's start off with the opening credits. Everything is sewn in blood. Literally, the tapestry is full of it. After screaming at that opening sequence, we start off at the wall where we see Jay is there trying to get some reinforcements for his mom. He don't know what's going on with his brother. And then after they go through this whole spiel about getting maybe 1,000 or so troops, they get a raven and he's like, yeah, I'm going to send you 2,000 because your brother just got killed. Already, we starting off with House Black having horrible news. And also, whoever started talking, I thought it was Jon Snow. I peed a little bit. I was like, I want to know what that accent is because it does something for my spirit. Now, we start off with Auntie Rhaenys. She is a real one. She's not playing no games with Dirty Damon. That's exactly what I call him, Dirty Damon. She could sympathize with the fact that, you know, a kid was lost because she lost her kid. So she already knows, or she thinks she does. But she's understanding why the queen is grieving right now. She needed some time alone. Here come Uncle Husband Damon trying to use his marital status to try to force somebody to do something. She's like, sweetie, this was supposed to be my crown. Don't forget, I did not choose to fight to get it. Don't play with me. You are not my king. She's barely my queen. Out of loyalty, I'm fighting for y'all, but don't get it twisted. Don't say nothing to me. But Damon did have a point. If she would have used her little escape trying to get her dragon to do what she needed to do and burn them at the stake, then they wouldn't be in this mess. But it's also not her fault that they got a crazy kid that just want to sit there and use his dragon to be funny. And a lot of people was like, well, he couldn't control his dragon, and his dragon was the one that killed the kid. If you put a kick me sign on somebody's back and then have the nerve to say something stupid out loud and say, oh, well, I didn't know somebody was going to kick him. Stop. If you can't control your dragon, you don't need to be sitting there playing cat and mouse with somebody else. Stop. But all Ray needs to tell him is like, look, I don't have to be here. I do not have to give you this information. You can calm down. If she do what she do best, leave. Walked away. All while her husband is down at the docks trying to find a new bodyguard with his crippled self. Somebody please find a scorpion to kill Vhagar because that thing gotta go. Now we touch down at King's Landing where the Magnanimous, he was really trying to make that work. As President King Aegon approaches his wife trying to figure out where their son is because he want to teach him how to train his dragon when just 2 months ago he was too scared to look at his own shadow. Wifey over here complaining about the rats and she don't like what's going on. But the foreshadowing on that, she's a fortune teller. So, crazy. Meanwhile, Queen Closet Freak Alicent over here getting licked like a lollipop by the Kingsguard. Just to curb him afterwards and be like,
we cannot. Again.
Yes, Your Grace.
You shouldn't have been doing it at all. Now they both got to walk into the council meeting and look at everybody like, oh, we just met at the corner. We didn't ride here together. There needs to be a new rule. No small kids at the council meetings because this is not bring your child to work day. Now, I understand that he wanted to bring his son to kind of get the ropes or see what's going on, but he's 4. Is he really going to know anything or what to do by the time you get killed tomorrow? No. And now you're trying to abuse your power and try to talk mess to your other people and make it seem like, oh, he's in charge as well, so give him a pony ride. No, sir. I'm happy Alicent shut that down. But I get he wants his son to learn a few things early because by the time it was time for him to learn everything, he was so timid and didn't know what to do. And his dad was on his last leg and face, literally. Now, I'd rather participate in the daddy daycare of it all than to see Aemon walk in looking like Dungeons and Dragons Slick Rick and try to act like he's in charge of the war efforts. And his brothers know better because he's like, hey, if I gotta send him out, I know he got that dog in him. No. And what's crazy is out of everybody in that meeting, the woman was the one that made the most sense. But of course, we can't have her back because can't no women be in charge. Now, after the council meeting, our foot fetish friend Loras is out there waiting for the queen because he ain't seen her ankles in 6 weeks and wanted to know what's up. Sat there and asked her questions about where you been. What's going on? Why you ain't answering my text? Meanwhile, he done got all the tea from the original staff about what she's been doing behind closed doors. But guess what? Our pedophilia pal went ahead and handled them. You got everybody else wondering at the staff meeting where Cheryl and Sally are, and they over here whispering, girl, I heard they got fired. Girl, I heard the dragons had an early dinner. Very freaky queen can't even have a good bath because she don't know if the new girls know how to scratch her back right. But I bet you'll start sending them feet pics on time. It seemed like that's the only man that got your back, other than the one that's cracking your back. You got bodyguard Bay in the back trying to figure out his feelings. A mess. Now we see the true queen, Rhaenyra, finding her son's dragon's wing. And she has been on a long search to find him. That's why everybody says she's disappeared. And she's finally got the closure she needed. And she found an item of his clothing on the dragon's wing. Her son long gone. He in the ocean somewhere. But she got the closure she needed. I could only imagine how she was feeling at that moment. But I'm sure she wanted to scorch all the earth at King's Landing. Speaking of King's Landing, now we have Aegon, the class president, on the throne, trying to look like somewhat of a fair king. But you have Odious Otto, his grandfather and 3-time champion wearer of the king's hand, telling him no at every turn. He used the stairs more than the king do, like Stairmaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. If you're going to be the king's hand, certain things need to be done on the side. Now you got this man looking weak. And that's exactly what our pedophilia pal Lars said when he took him aside and was like, hey, you need to poke your chest out a little bit more, because if they see him undermining every single decision you making, you gonna look weak. So you need to go ahead and handle that. And while we're on Otto, he goes to the room with his very freaky daughter, Miss Allison, who wants to fuss at him for not having her back at the small council meeting. He's not about to do any type of standing up for her in front of them men, but he did let her know, hey, we both on the same page. We want to keep this man as our king, and I'll do anything to keep him on the throne. Now, true Queen Rhaenyra heads back home, walks through the door, don't say nothing to nobody. She ain't spoke this whole episode. And the first thing she says, goes straight to the war table and says, stop all trading, stop all transport to King's Landing.
I want Aemond Targaryen.
I want Slick Rick neck. Give me Aemon. Give him to me now. That's it. That's all. Then her son comes back to let her know, hey, we got, 2K over there at the wall, and then, our friend said if you let them hold a dragon, they'll help us with the war efforts. And they both kind of break down, because it's the first time they seen each other since her brother and her son died. Now they over here grieving. Meanwhile, at King's Landing, very freaky queen over here holding a candlelight visual for the son that just died. Girl, forget you. While she down there having sorrows and prayers, here come Dirty Damon over here creeping into King's Landing to pay off the little rat and one of the Double Mint twins' friends to go kill Aemon or give them a son for a son. Meanwhile, Blonde Slick Rick and the Queen Lick Commander is over here trying to plan on how they can't get overrun by the true queen and they people. Then Odious Otto come in, being nosy, asking questions he already know the answer to. He knows that his grandson is very impulsive, and he does what he needs to let him know, hey, you got to have strategy at some point, and you can't be so impulsive. All the while, underneath their feet is the mouse catcher with the Hightower Hayden guard over here getting lost because they don't know how to use Google Maps. How you been working here and don't know where you going? I'm so confused. While they get lost, they run into the class president's wife with her fortune teller butt and try to get her to be hostage and find Aemon, a.k.a. Blonde Slick Rick, so they could kill him. And she's like, hey, I got one better for you. My son in there sleep. Come again, say what? Huh? For real? Guide them in there with her to her son, picks up the other child, and walks out as her kid getting his throat slashed. Just to run in the very freaky girl's room while she getting her back cracked by the Lick Commander and say, oh, they got the boy. So not only did your future kid get killed, your future king get killed, but you just caught your queen mother doing something that she ain't supposed to do. So now everybody looking crazy. Fade to black. Ah! When I tell you, I screamed. Because Dirty Damon done set up more than just a little war. He set up a big one. A son for a son indeed.